enjoy unlimited and uninterrupted internet broadband 24 hours daily for only $1,000. What? Yes, you heard me right. Subscribe now for only $1,000 and stay connected for a whole 2 weeks non-stop. For those of you on vacation, grab the opportunity to get in touch with your loved ones, family and friends while you're away. Rush now to any Gamcell outlet or call 111 to be part of this amazing promotion. Gamcell, yeah, bro.
Gamcell, let's talk.
STUART & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm in London that can help you with all aspects of your legal work. If you are looking at immigrating to the United Kingdom, STUART & Co. can help you to set up business, buy houses in the UK, and will deal with all your legal works from start to finish.
For all your general immigration work, we can help you with that as well. If you're applying for any form of visa, whether student visas, settlement visas, marriage visas, or a child wanting to come to the United Kingdom to settle with the family, we can help you to achieve your goals.
STUART & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm specializing in conveyancing, immigration, litigation, family law, personal injury, licensing, no win, no fee. Contact us today at www.sk-solicitors.com.
In today's world, everything imaginable is on the internet, which is amazing. And to find anything, it is easy. But that's not the case for Lami. His standard internet connection is frustratingly slow, unable to focus on important things in life. He can't stream a video or search anything. He is fed up with messages like address is not found, timeout connection, and Internet Explorer cannot find web page. That's when his friend Fatima introduces him to Gamtel. At Gamtel, we provide viable, cost-effective, and sustainable internet solutions to businesses and homes. With our nationwide fiber broadband connectivity through EcoOne Gambia project, you can now say goodbye to slow internet. We provide quality services, blazing speed, and amazing customer services. All these at affordable price. Be like Lami and start using Gamtel broadband internet today. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
Tanal man number yung may tanal mabapi.
Pani oli mala jox ci xibaar yam doy la.
Jaral ma number rek go mala.
Señ bi na nga def. Ki de dama ko jox xibaar gi ma dégg ci yeen.
Waaw lo toggé.
Wax na ko ne alxames bu nekk ak dimanche bu nekk dañ tan juróomi number ci jackpot bi ko gagné juróomi number tegal nañ la xone dan plus 1000. Manam 2000 junne ak lu tek. Waaw. Waye juróomi number dafa wara mengo. Su fekkee ne amoo juróomi number yu mengo am nga ñeenti number yu mengo yow dinañ la jox bonus fo du noonu la
bonus fo
waaw des na de altine bu jot talaata àllarba ak àjjuma ñu génne waat beneen jackpot ne ku gi am ñeenti number yu lëkkaloo ñu tegal $50,000 maanaam juróom fukki junni waaye nag gis nga boo amee ñetta yu mengo ñu jox la tam bonus 3 waaye nag xàmmee ko gis nga Gambia gémi bari nañ de waaye gis nga bii green la xàmmee ko waaw xàmmee ko bu baax a baax feneen foo taxaw bu fii di nga perte
dama la wax yépp dëgg la waaye xam nga lu ma lay xamal ma wax nga naan waaw dëgg la kay yow mi sa kanam guddi gi xam nga ne góoma la da ngeen may kompaloo man ngeen di kompal nañ dem ci office
xanaa nermelu nga
ma ne nee naa nga lay laa wax
nee naa la ku ko mën la ku koy jéem duñu benn ak loto game ak ay bonus sama xéwalam yu bari fii rek la du feneen.
Make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets, with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements, merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.
Vital Trading Limited. you want the best in office supplies? Do you want value for money? Then look no further. Vital Trading Limited is here for you. Vital Trading Limited is the best in town when it comes to office supplies and all your printing needs. We brand, rebrand, design and print logos, flyers, caps, pens, 3D signboards, neon signboards, envelopes and many more. We also have bank coin counters, bank note counters, fire protect safes, just to name a few. At Vital Trading Limited, satisfaction is guaranteed and we deliver on time. Visit our office today on the Bertel Harding Highway opposite the GNPC petrol station. Better still, call us on 4498756, 4498962. Visit our website today, www.vitaltradinglimited.com. Want the best in all your office supplies and printing needs? Then come to
Sophie, meew la bu sell te neex, baax na ci halal ak mag yépp, am na calcium, iron, protein ak vitamine yu bari. Sophie full cream powder milk la, am na 20 gram, 200 gram ak 400 gram. Ku ko ñam dootu ko bàyyi. Sophie, proudly Gambian.
And most trusted agency in real estate and property management.
We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian, despite their financial status.
What makes Universal outstanding in the market is our flexible payment plans.
We set standards in sales and letting of quality properties, mortgage, leasing, rentals, property valuation, construction, and many more.
All our sites are fitted with social amenities such as schools, water, electricity, praying ground, and a good road network. In Sukuta Phase 1 and 2, Jambanjeli, Sanyang, Brikama, Lamen Daranka, and Gunjur coming up soon.
Doing business with Universal Properties, it's a very wonderful experience.
Universal Properties, FIB House, Caraba Avenue.
ñu am mbégte lool dalal leen fii ci beneen KERR FATOU comme niñ ko dee defee rek alxamis bi jot ni ñoo waxtaan ak yéen ñu ngi nag si suñu séries yi nga xam ne moom lañ nekk di def ak aspirant mayors yi ñi nga xam ne ñoo bëgg a nekk mayor ci BCC ak KMC seetaan ngeen part 1 bu ñu def ak KMC ak part 2 bu ñu def ak BCC. KERR FATOU pour askan bi yëpp la ubbi nañ suñ bunta képp koo xam ne rek bëgg na taxaw mayor ubbil nañ ko suñ bunta call nañ leen welcome nañ leen ci plateforme bi waaye dafa mel ni am na ñoo xam ne ñoom dañ busy mënuñoo ñëw si programme bi dafa am ñoo xam ne tam waxoon nañ ñu ne ñoom duñ bëgguñoo ñëw te ñu respect nag ku nekk sa opinion respect nañ ku nekk sa décision. kon gaa ñi foog naa ne show bi dina neex waaye balaa maa dugga di gërëm bu baax a baax style by tea Matida si wax bu nice bi wax naa leen made in the Gambia rek la ñuy wax ñun foofu la ñuy dox ma kontaan bu baax nag si Aïssatou saa yu nekk rek dama ko dee wax si make up bi ak si kawar gi waaye di gërëm bu baax a baax suma mag jooju aji sawa ne nekk Denmark li ma sol si accessoires rek moo si jaar kon gaañ toppaleen ma dina métti. Tonight we have Mr. Alhagie. Alhagie is an independent candidate from Banjul who is also looking forward to being next mayor of BCC. And of course, we have lawyer Assan Martin, who is also a candidate for KMC. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Daddy, tonight we will be talking to Alhagie and Assan about what their plans are for KM and Banjul.
Thank you so much, Fatou. The media have a duty to make sure that the citizenry are well informed as it relates to the programs, policies of the candidates or the aspiring candidates. Therefore, we have given an opportunity for all to come. Notwithstanding, a lot of people have shunned the opportunity given to them to come to the platform. I hope they will use other platforms to make sure that they get to the public. You see, Political accountability comes with scrutiny, and we need to scrutinize the would-be aspirants for the positions of the mayor of KMC and the mayor of Banjul.
Thank you very much, Daddy. Mr. Alhagie, you are running for BCC. Can you tell us briefly about yourself? Who is Alhagie? What's your record? Why do you think the people of BCC should vote for you?
Thank you. As you've just said, my name is Alhagie. Born and raised in Banjul, number 3 Rankin Street. Attended primary and high school in Banjul before going to the United States of America, where I briefly took business administration at Massey Business College, then to DeVry Institute of Technology, end up at ITT Institute of Technology. I worked before as an unqualified teacher in at Pakalinding Junior Secondary School for a year. Then I was working, then from there I worked for soil science and agronomy for about 8 months before I left the country. While I was out, I've worked as a waiter first. Then I worked for Southern Building Maintenance, where I worked myself up the ladder to operation manager, handling almost 4 divisions and traveling the length and breadth of Atlanta, including some parts of Georgia. I started Standard Services of California when I moved to California, which I operated until I moved to Oregon, working for Tektronix as an electronic technician. I came home in 1999. My first task was to see how I can contribute back to the socio-economic development of the city in Banjul. I helped the city in Banjul to set up a house-to-house garbage collection, which was my idea. I found them not being able to serve the community once every month, using half of the resources that the council was available to the council. I was able to set up a system that was serving the city twice a week, giving them twice a week collection, and the city was actually even still getting swept twice a week, and it was getting clean. I also was the principal, I was also principal in helping the city secure funding from the Canada Fund to actually address the drainage problem, part of the drainage problem that we had in Banjul. That was also my doing. I've also actually, lately I've been helping the fishermen in Banjul, facilitating between them and the fisheries department on a revolving loan so they can get boats, machines, nets and all that, because today if you look at it, there's only one boat that's owned by Banjulians at the beach. I've also been trying to bring those that are in theater and musical together to form a professional group that would match something like Daniel Sorano. We've got to the point that we had we have a constitution written. Unfortunately, the mayoral election came, and those that are in had other people that they are supporting, so we decided to put it on hold until
after the election.
Yes, even though for me it was never political. I've also tried to start a program called Beautification of Banjul. It entailed getting the corrugated fences out of Banjul, getting gates to all compounds. In fact, you know, I was given the go-ahead to talk to compound owners from the pilot project, which was from Spalding and Rankin Street to Albion Place and Allen Street. I talked to all the compound owners. But that is Alhagie. I live and I breathe Banjul, and you know, Banjul is in my heart.
Banjul is in your heart, and we will come back to what you want to do for the people of Banjul. Assan Martin, a Gambian diaspora, and you came back home and you're also running for the top job in KM. Can you tell us briefly who is Assan Martin?
Well, thank you so much, Fatou and your co-host, Nyang. I always welcome such programs so that people can understand why some of us are coming in.
Yeah.
Assan Martin, born in Bakau, born and raised in Bakau, but residence in Sarekunda. That is previously in work as an unqualified teacher. Has always been the thing. And then after that, work as a civil servant, then national security officer under the First Republic. From there, traveled to UK, studied my law, and then law major, minor in politics. Then from there, come back home in 2000, and then work as a, public prosecutor. From there, I also joined the bench, which was then I work as a magistrate in all regions. Yeah. As a traveling magistrate, you have to work all regions then. This is North Bank, LRD, URD, and then Lower River, and then Western Division. Off the bench, and then I came into the private practice as a lawyer, and basically focus on human rights issues. Then in the Gambia, which were very challenging then. This was sometime around 2006, 2007, knowing what was here then. This issue put us at odds with the then establishment, which is, the Jammeh regime. At the end of the day, things can't work with us. We have to go into exile because of our own reasons and all safety. In exile too, you have to face the challenges. The ordeals are there, but working with colleagues, keep on fighting for the human rights, campaigning for democracy in Gambia, for the liberation of our country from the clutches of dictatorship. This has also called us to question. But before that, prior in 2011, prior to us going into exile, we feel and we deem fit that Gambia needs people to get into the political fray. When we saw that our political parties were facing challenges to take out the incumbent, which was then, the Jammeh administration in 2011, some of us come into the political fray. We decide to work with political parties to unite them so that they can face Jammeh in the 2011 elections. So some of us deal with certain parties, which I happens to be also. I work with them and also join the fray to stand as an independent candidate then when we have a United Front convention in Atlantic Hotel. This was in the 2011 elections.
2011, yes.
Unfortunately, some of us didn't make it for a reason that the odds were against us. The parties have their own delegates. Some of us, we don't have delegates, but we were there to give that process a weight. It propels us into the political fray. People come to know us. I can just say from there, in exile too, we have to keep on fighting, and then also, being a campaigner, we were all recognized, also fighting to come the 2016 elections, which again, we were instrumental in building up a coalition that led us to this environment today in Gambia. So this is what I can say, Assan Martin, yes.
Assan, you're looking for the top job in KM. What specific plans do you have for the people of KMC?
Well, we have a number of policies that we want to make sure that it's going to be a radical agenda. Looking at the city itself, the city is going down the drain. Being a resident, being affected directly. We feel KMC needs to be restructured. There is maladministration, mismanagement is still going on, there's corruptions also going on within the council. These are things that needs to be tackled. And we feel that the KMC residents or the voters has been disadvantaged for a long time for the reason that most of them, in terms of services and resources, they are shortchanged. The institution itself, which is the KMC, should provide services to the people, but they are not coming the way people want them.
Services like what?
Basic amenities. Also services like, we have the waste issue to be collected. Also, we have the talk about this, the public pipes, that is the taps in the public there. Sometimes people complain that they don't have the water. But again, we need to see the social amenities, electricity becomes an issue. But most important also, the reason why I'm into it is to make sure we reform the institution itself, to lay a proper foundation. Review the bylaws, which are very much important if we want to change the attitudes of the people. I mean, these are very important. That's why I also plan to have a very strong enforcement team to make sure that all our plans and our policies are effectively, implemented. It's not all about selling dreams. It's all about make sure that the plans that we have for KM is a people's agenda to make sure that people have their services and the resources goes to people as of their right. Also, we're going to review the revenue collection, which is very important because we believe that KMC can maximize their resources so that those resources can be pumped back to the people. So, and also the reason why we are into the KMC is to make sure that partisan politics, which has dogged us for a long time, it has been that it has affected our institution so bad. Some of us feel that this time around we need a strong, effective, competent leader to make sure that the institution is being handled in the right direction and in the right way.
That's Assan's program for KM, Daddy.
Well, it's a lofty proposition, but looking at it, it has merit because most of the things he has brought forth are issues affecting KM. But see, the issue of KM is a bit complex, and I do hope after this election we will find ways and means of breaking down that municipality. Because it's overburdened. You have Bakau, Fajara, pipeline. You have Ibo Town, Talinding, Kanifing, Tabokoto, Bundung, Serekunda. It's just too much for one. So it needs to be disaggregated. At least we should have 3 or 4 coming out of it. And I'll give people a classic example. In the 70s, there was Commune de Dakar. And basically, Commune de Dakar handled everything for Dakar. But they realized that governments, when they become too big, they become a problem. So Commune de Dakar was broken down into few other municipalities. And that's how Pekin came out, Gejowai, Grand Yoff, Ngor. And the same thing, because see, an animal grows, and after a while, it needs to be tamed. So yes, I liked his proposition, but see, politicians oftentimes don't like to relinquish power. They like to accumulate power. And I think it's the responsibility of the mayor of KM, if they're interested in the inhabitants of KM, to give them better representation going forward after this election to make sure that the municipality as we know it will be redesigned, re-engineered as it relates to political lines, not parties, but creating new political, places within the municipality.
Alhagie, what is your plan for BCC?
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, there must be a strategic development plan that would give us a sense of direction on what we want to do, be able to cost it. But upon all this too, it should be divided into short-term development plans and long-term development plans. Short-term development plans, that is the services that the resources of the city council should be able to do with minimum help or minimum funding from outside. Long-term development plans to regenerate the city. We need to redesign Banjul to make it one of the best capitals that we can have. To redesign, to regenerate Banjul and redesign it, we need to look at starting from the port all the way to the end. Trying to see how we can extend the port going towards the sea than the way they were doing towards the city. The commercial area, if you look at it, the area where it is right now, it's a very, very, how to call it, it's an area where actually we need to move them somewhere else and use that as to attract tourism.
Yeah.
We need to redesign that area. We can, the ferry terminal could stay, but we need to have something like a mall out there. We need to have a taxi area out there, like a bus stop and all that.
Yep.
So we need to start redesigning from that area. We need to try to encourage Banjulians in the diaspora. We have Banjulians in diaspora that have the capacity and the capability to come and reinvest. You know, high-tech technologies. We have the wetlands out there. Well, actually, if you look at it now, it's all dried, which we can actually utilize to move the commercial area to that end, whereby we can use those properties, that area facing the seaside. We can have hotels out there, you know, because we need to attract tourism again into Banjul to be able to get, you know, to be able to increase the socio-economic capacity of the city. We need to redesign Independence Drive. We need to start, you know, all these things need to be redesigned, but also we need to look at the city itself, the residential areas, the zoning of Banjul, because today, if you look at it, anybody can build warehouses anywhere in Banjul, which is not correct. So we need to do that. We need to try to actually, the revenue collection of the city, we need to tighten it and increase it. This we can also do. One of the things that the city council needs to do today is it needs to know and have a database on everybody that sells something in Banjul. That needs to be done. So, you know, when we are talking about corruption, when you have all this, you can at least estimate what your income generation is going to be. So the city council needs to be able to do that. I wouldn't sit here and talk about corruption in the city council, but I know I would institute, you know, internal auditing system, whereby the funds that are being generated every day are being audited instead of waiting up to the end of the year before you try to audit something. So that I would try to institute out there. We need to retrain to the city council employees. We need to do an audit of the employees. When you do an audit of the employees, you know their capacity, their capabilities. You see how you can help them, you know, to be more in tune or to be able to carry their functions well. In the short-term plans, we can talk about waste management.
Yes, I wanted to come there before we take our first commercial. Like your first 100 days, let's say your first 3 months, what are you going to be your key specific areas that you think need to be addressed now? First 100 days.
First 100 days, waste management is a big problem in Banjul. And I'll tell you, within 2 months, we would have a twice-a-week collection. We would sweep the, residential areas. We would sweep the streets twice a week. I've done it before, and I can do it again. In fact, if I give you the report that I prepared, yourself, you can set it by tomorrow. That I can do, and I'm quite sure those that know me in Banjul would tell you it's true. Secondly, we need to look at the drainage problem. We are getting into the rainy season. So flooding is going to be a problem. We need a temporary solution, because a solution for the drainage problem must involve the pumping station and creating back that ring canal that is no longer there. A lot of people would talk about the feeder drains, because you have the feeder drains connected to the storm drains, which is connected to the ring canal, which is connected to the pumping station. But when you want solution, you don't start from the end. You start from where the source. And the source right now, if you look at it, there is no canal that exists any longer. So the water is not actually seeping out from the storm drains to where the canal was. So it seeps into the Tanbe, like the wetlands. So first and foremost, we need to actually have a temporary solution for the coming rains. But I can assure you that there could be a solution within 2 years. There's a study that was done by Austin. It only needs to be costed. And the first point of solving the problem is the canal. We need to recreate the canal and use hardened concrete for it instead of just actually excavating it every year so that you can have a water, so you can have a way for the water to move. So these are the things that I would try to tackle when I get in. But not just that. Not just that. There is one important thing we have to talk about when you talk about waste management. You cannot institute a system without having complementary factors in it. One is we need to recreate inspections. Inspections whereby you have inspectors going into the compounds, sensitizing the people, but also making sure that they are taking care of their responsibilities when it comes to waste management. I've tried that before when I brought NEA, the police, environmental health division, division of the health department, BCC, you know, even the schools, you know, and it worked. We used to have meetings for a while, but as I say, you never know why people start. Political. Yeah, you know. But for me, this would be
going to be your priority areas when you, for the first 100 days.
For the first 100 days, we would try to.
We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, the proposals are beautiful, but how are you going to sustain this? How are you going to get funding for all of these? I think that is going to be interesting. So we'll take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll just continue on the discussion.
The Gambia Revenue Authority wishes to inform the general public that income earned from the letting or leasing of property is taxable as per the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. In this regard, the general public is hereby informed that payment of rental income tax is an obligation on any person who earns income from letting or leasing properties. All rental income earned from properties in the Gambia is subjected to rental income tax. There are two types of rental income tax. A residential rental income tax charged at the rate of 8% of gross rent received. Commercial rental income charged at the rate of 10% of gross rent received. It is important to note that failure to declare and pay rental income tax is illegal and punishable under the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. To pay your rental income tax, rush to the nearest GRA domestic tax office or any of GRA's designated banks. Remember to pay your taxes and on time. GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon. How are you? Thank you. My name is Oli. I'm from EJ Investments.
Understood.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses. Right. What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate service you need?
It's absolutely EJ Investment and Real Estate Agents.
Welcome back to KERR FATOU. Daddy?
The primary issue with Banjul is first and foremost for anyone who has a vested interest in Banjul as a stakeholder, be it a resident or someone with historical ties to Banjul, is to ask himself or herself, how did Banjul got to the point that it is? One word comes out and stands prominently: incompetence.
Incompetence?
Incompetence.
How?
The people who have been aspiring to manage the city way before Jammeh to date don't have the requisite toolkit skills or capacity to sit there as mayor of Banjul. Simple. 1965, Gambia was handed over to a government. Banjul had a city. The city council was handed over to the inhabitants. What the British left, as little as it was functional. No one in the city had the right to hold a chicken, head down, and walk in the city without paying a fine. Health inspectors used to come to a house, take samples of water, and test. If a house was dirty, you will be fined. Banjul has lost all that because the people are mediocre who are running the city. They lack vision, and the little that was left wasn't taken care of. Fast forward to here we are now. What we're trying to do now is to not correct, because there's nothing to correct in Banjul. Banjul has been decimated. If you think you can fix what's left of Banjul, you're wasting the time of the inhabitants of Banjul. Banjul needs transformation, and that transformation will call for a lot of bulldozing to happen. And I think we need mega plans to build a modern city for Banjul.
That is important, Daddy. And I have also said that over the years, I think they, personally, I think there have been very good mayors, some good mayors that came through in Banjul for the past couple of years. I disagree. I believe they were good mayors. For example, Pa Salah Jeng, I believe he was a good mayor. But you know, what is also very important in our politics, if you are an independent candidate, normally the central government will not give you the support, because municipalities are being supported by central government, have a role to play in helping mayors. But if they look at you as an opposition and they don't give you the support, it affects your performance.
It's about complementing the effort of central government.
Yeah.
The government should look at local government as an institution that is going to filter development to people.
Yeah.
This is where now, if central government, like you just point out,
Yeah.
is looking at local government like an opponent, we have a problem.
Yes.
And it's true, because of our politics, the way the politics is. This
Yeah.
is now where we said, some of us are coming in as independent candidates to try and fix the culture, change the culture of administration, and let them understand that me and you can work as partners and help people to develop and grow.
Yeah.
This is why Gambian politics is coming now. Some of us are coming in to define Gambian politics, to bring honesty in Gambian politics.
Yeah.
Gone are those days where we come and sell you dreams.
Yeah.
Gone are those days where we come and give you short-term gifts.
Yeah.
We are looking at, we want people to have that long-term benefit, to make sure now we have a new environment where we're going to pick ourselves.
Yeah.
Enterprise, that is, create job opportunities within the locality. That's why I say that some of us have even got plans to make sure that enforcement teams will be there. It's not only about designing plans and programs, but to be enforced, to make sure that also the revenue, because back to what Nyang was saying, if there is no revenue, no money, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So how are we going to maximize revenue? We have to build a creative thinking in terms of resources. For us, KM has resources, I believe. KM has properties too.
Yeah.
The parking space, where are we going to do it? A parking lot where people have to pay fees for us to get. The markets where we're going to enlarge, maybe build more infrastructure within the markets to make sure that rent fees are going to be paid to the KM. We need to think big. But again, once we raise revenue, for me, I believe that that revenue is owned by the people. It has to be pumped again to the people. Come back to it, the waste management that we talk about. In KM today, you might count less than 10 trucks going around collecting waste, which is very much, I mean, disheartening to see that people, the waste will be there and it will not be collected. But in office, we have to make sure that we get the revenue, the money, to make sure that we get enough trucks to make sure they're collecting.
That's where the problem comes in too. Money, resources. Yes, KM, the resources are there. It's estimated that the KM annual budget, the estimated revenue is about 100 million. But out of the 100 million, how many goes to electricity? How many goes to management, like staff, salaries, and other stuff. What are you going to get out of that 100 million to develop KM? Is there any strategic plans or other forms of funding that you are going to attract to bring to KM to be able to implement your programs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here is that they might say KM 100 million for the whole year. That's the estimate.
Yes.
But a creative leadership, a leadership who knows what they're doing, they can make more resources out of KM properties. Back to our rates, the license that are being paid, the hotel, the businesses, you know, and there are spaces that I was talking about, the property of the local council that can be, you know, rented out, or, you know, you have to think of a way of making more money. Then the budget can even go beyond 100 million. It can go even to 150 million. That's what we are thinking. But again, back to where we are saying, the markets, the car parks, and then you have to bring new bylaws where if somebody, maybe we find rubbish or garbage at somebody's place, there could be people who can pay fines or fees to make sure that that generates incomes. Income generation is very important to help. And after that, like I just say also, the loopholes where we have corruptions within, we know what's going on there. If you go to planning, the department where they call planning within KM, I mean, a lot of money has been, revenue has been lost there. Procurement also, we have a problem there. Things are being ordered, you know, in the name of the council, you know, money doesn't, we don't know where money goes. These are places that you have to quickly, in my, let's say, first 100 days in office, I have to make sure I review that quickly and make sure we put a seal so that we stop those loopholes. That is one. Review what is there, and then also look at how to build, maximize revenue. It's very important. You can't do nothing. You might have beautiful plans also, sell dreams, but make sure that the issue of maximizing money, bringing money to the people is very important, because otherwise no programs will work.
No programs will work. And in Banjul, Mr. Ja, you see, somebody like me, Banjul used to attract a lot of businesses. Now businesses are going out of Banjul. If you are going to depend on rates and taxes that are collected for your operational cost, and also trying to develop other plans that you have, I don't know how you're going to do that, because how are you going to invest businesses back to Banjul? People are leaving Banjul. People are not coming into Banjul anymore.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, we need to look at what we have before we look for funding outside.
Okay.
First and foremost, you need to know the capability of the city council, how you can increase that revenue at the city council. Today, I can tell you the cleansing service could actually fund itself if you look at how much they spend on maintenance and fuel, over 2 million a year. If you have better vehicles, you wouldn't be spending that. You look at the time that the workers use, you can actually maximize their time so that you can save on that. We talk at revenue. I'm not into rate-based revenue. I'm into sales-based revenue. This house makes this much amount of money. That's how I'm going to charge that house on, but not the way the rates are being charged to houses. You look at the sales of that business or that property. You have properties that are being rented. How much do they make a year? That's how you determine what the rate is. Their rates are going to be. That would create more. Would add more to the revenue coming into the city council. So with this, it would give you the short-term programs that you can work on while you work on your long-term programs. Like he said, Nyangjai said here, we need to redesign Banjul. That redesigning Banjul is not 1, 2, 3 years. You're talking about 20, 30 years project. But what is going to hold the city moving up to that point? And you need to consider. That's why I said it must have a strategic development plan. Definitely this year, I've seen that they've drawn up a development plan waiting to be validated. But I believe it's a 2 to 3 year development plan. That's not what I'm talking about, long-term solution. we need to recreate the city. You'll have compounds whereby we would need to move. What options are you going to give those people? It could be a private-public partnership. Even they don't even have to lose their homes. They could have partners whereby those homes could be developed. So all of them could have interest, in it. So all these are plans, but first and foremost, we need to have a short-term plan to hold the city moving. To get the city going from one point to the other while we design while we talk about the long-term plans. And it's not only the mayor's responsibility. You have stakeholders within and outside that needs to come. You just have the idea, and you need to call all these people in so we can redesign. And this is the way I think Banjul needs to go. The revenue we can have for the short term, but we need public-private partnership for the long term. And this is my take in it. I also agreed with him on the things he said here concerning being able to make sure that council gets what is coming to council. And there is one thing in the Local Government Act. The central government should actually subvent 20% to the councils, depending on what their budget is.
Have they been doing that?
No, at least for Banjul City Council, I know they haven't been doing it. They even haven't done it last year before last, and all that.
But that's why you need you need a mayor who a good leader. Because if you have a good leader, you would raise these things. You would take it to the next level. Yeah,
and let me tell you one thing. We need members of parliament that know what they are doing. Because the city council needs them to move certain things in parliament. Today, if you take out the budget, when the national budget, when the national budget is being published or if there is being read in the House, you only hear yea or nay. Why would I agree to a budget that has nothing, that haven't even mentioned my community? If you look at today, the few roads that are being done in Banjul are from the Rural Infrastructural Development Fund. Rural. What have they been giving to Banjul from Parliament in that budget? We need to make sure that we have a share of the cake in that budget, or we wouldn't agree to that budget. For that, we need to talk to our MPs, engage them. And I would make sure for me that every 2-3 months, I would engage my members of parliament for them to be in tune with what I'm doing and what I need from them to move the city. And this is what I'm saying for me. We need to be doing these things. I think if I'm elected, I have the capacity. I have at least the experience, the know-how with the city council. 2002 is when I started having collaboration with the city council in Banjul. Up to today.
What would you tell people who would say, oh yes, you worked with the council, but we haven't seen a lot of improvement with the council, so we can give you some part of the blame? What would be your response to those people who will say that to you? Because it's politics, we can say that.
Yes, I would say my engagements with the city council have always been successful. First and foremost, the house-to-house garbage collection that I said worked for 4 years. The reason why they are having problems with it was because a new mayor came and decided to come up with a new plan. That's why it failed. And, the second one, I secured fund from the Canada Fund for the City Council. They misused it. So, it's not that I failed. I wasn't an employee of the City Council. I was sacrificing and, and contributing my quota to the city of Banjul.
Yeah, if I may quickly add to what the brother is saying here. Fatou, we have to think back some of these things and see them in perspective. Under the former regime, the environment was not conducive and it was not healthy for some of us, or some of people like him, bringing in ideas, sharing ideas with the local councils to help develop their communities. It has become a problem. I'll make sure that the brother had that in consideration. But again, looking at the whole thing, here we have a new environment. Going back to it, leadership here has to come into play. And these are political offices, like brother says here, how to redesign the city and how to make sure, figure out the challenges that we are going to face. Taking that into consideration, you know, we definitely need the resources, the money. Government too, the urban development policies must be reviewed, because going into local government for some of us is not just being mayors. We are in chains, we are beyond that. It's also about trying to make sure central government is all accountable. It's very important here. We're not going to give them, you know, passes, or, you know, central government come and take chunk of what the budget of the local government is, because they have to subvent 25% into the local councils so that, you know, I mean, they can function. But again, part of our plans will be to create that environment, create opportunities where also the youth programs, and some of us, we have the ward-to-ward based programs. If you want to filter development, like he just said, it cannot be centralized. But each and every ward, we will review, see what they can service themselves, whether the taxes, because also we need to re-educate or just educate the communities, because sometimes most of them, how to go and pay their taxes, you know, is a problem. Are we going to bring resources up to their doorstep so that they can have that chance to make sure that they help the local community to come forward? I mean, there is a lot of things that we have to do. You know, seriously, we have consultations with people who are working in the councils, and they tell us, hey, sometimes you sit outside and say things, but if you go in, you have to be very, very careful the challenges that you face there. Administration is very important. Governance is also important, because Gambian system of politics, for me, is to make sure we use this environment, the new dispensation, to help the people. Back to it, parliament, loans coming in, grants coming in, are they impacting on people? It's a question. So we have a lot to do.
We're going to take another commercial break.
Can't do small or big projects with the same dedication and commitment as we do. With a reputation as the leading printing company in the country, when it comes to major projects and innovative solutions, we always deliver in high quality, thus receiving the trust and confidence of our clients. From the moment your order is placed to when it is delivered, we believe in exceeding expectations from the sales manager to the production team, the account manager, and the person delivering your material. We have state-of-the-art equipment and a highly experienced and competent workforce that enables us to deliver top quality work on time. At reasonable prices, we provide our clients with multiple solutions, right from conceptualizing, designing, printing, binding, publishing, and distribution. For all your printing requirements, we are strategically located at the Sankumsila Highway, the Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation. We print what you desire.
Welcome back to KERR FATOU. Actually, this is my favorite part of the show, where we host our guests to a beautiful meal courtesy of Konte Kunda. Wa Assan, léegi nag comme ñu doon waxee rek ci programme bi tey fooy tëjee looy wax waa KM lan moo tax ñu war a saanil Assan Martin.
Well, jërëjëf Fatou ak viewers yi li ñu doon wax la rek ñun we want to be distinct, that is different from candidates we run. We carry credibility, seen effectiveness. I mean ñun loolu lañ bugga pour make sure council bi ñoo xeex ni dëgg la politique jot na ku nekk mu ngi daw ngiro ngaayo bi bari nañ gis nañ yëpp bon na nit ñi bàyyi seen xel di façon yi leader bu ñoo tànn koo xam ne mun naa dimbale askan bi yërëm na leen xam na seen coono xool leen ñan ñoo am good track record ñan ñoo xam ne understand nga coow bi bari na ñun yëpp mun ne ñoo coow dinaa def lii waaye ngeen delluwaat back to set ñan ñoo leen mun a defal loo xam ne lu baax la lan mooy seen njëriñ and the Gambians si also ñu bàyyi the short term things yi nga xam ne dañ ko let's hold institutions suñ bëgg a build for long term moo tax ku mel ni man li ma bëgg a mooy to lay that foundation for KMC gis ne dinañ review the whole institution review bylaws yi hold the local government act but also build sectors yoo xam ne dafa implement dafa also supervise pour ñu am a very strong effective institution like the KMC most importantly man li ma believe mooy to make sure ne nit ki buñ ko socceeñ that politics of naxaate dafa yaaga sooy liggéeyal nit ñi ne make sure guys lay their hands on their resources because they are paying their taxes, their rates, their revenue. So we must give it back to them. We, man for man, personally, I want to be an exemplary leadership la buga provide for the KM. You'd see tamit see live in community see. I will not come and tell you what to do, but you have to create your programs, forward it to me. KM is just to make sure you raise revenue, pump it back to you. So Nyonyo Tamit, we will keep the youths busy because definitely we have important. For Tamit, it's very important and work hand in gloves with the business community within KM. But also politics is very important because it's a mayoral office, it's a political office. Go back to see the political track records, who were involved, and then the kind of dynamics that we want in our new political system. To central government, we will complement your effort. But again, under local government, under my leadership, we will make sure that central government will work hand in glove, but with respect. And also we will be accountable to each other. And we are accountable to the public too. I can give you every update of every monthly update to the council, to the residents of KM and the voters.
Wow. Thank you very much, Assan. Thank you very much. I think that is clearly stated. Alhagie. What would you do differently? What message do you want to tell the people of Banjul that are watching you right now to vote you in?
First and foremost, my track record in the city of Banjul speaks a volume for me. I have experience. I know Banjul through my track record, almost 2 decades of track record, working with residents, working with small businesses in Banjul, working with youths in Banjul. We need to have the database of all the youths in Banjul, know what they want to do, their capacity, their qualification and all that. Without that, you cannot help the youths. We need to engage them to refocus. We need to get them into technical training. Today, everybody talks about getting jobs for the youths, but where are the jobs? $10 jobs, $20 monthly pay? No, we need to retrain them to do welding and fabrication, electrical work, and all these things, and they could be self-employed. If we look at the track records of those contesting in Banjul, I am the only one that has a track record that's right now everywhere in the social media. Nobody else had a track record. What they have is it's a 8-to-5 job, whereby they get paid at the end of the month and take it home to their family. They cannot tell you anything more than that.
Thank you very much, Alhagie. Daddy, for show me.
Well, all we want to see and all we are seeing in this new Gambia is to create a marketplace of ideas. A marketplace of ideas is somewhere where people come, exchange, and at the end of the day, it benefits the greater good of society. And the way the greater good of society will benefit, they have heard from a lot of contestants, and I do hope they'll make the right choice, and the choice will not be induced by financial incentives, nor expectations for personal gain, but for the gain of the society that we all live in. Gone are the days where when we politic for self-interest. Yes, we're human beings, we're rationally self-interested, but the interest of the community and the greater good supersedes our personal interest. And going forward, I do hope the new Gambian will start thinking about the interests of the greater good. And best of luck to all the aspiring candidates. And I do hope the best wins. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Daddy, and thank you to Assan, thank you to Alhagie, and all those candidates that came to our platform. Until we come your way next week, and good night. See you next week.